We've got Cameron Hutchison at Kingston Park, looking forward to Sunday's European trip to French club Pau. Cameron, a new competition, playing in France is always a bit different. What have the lads got to look forward to?
Yeah, like European competition, so it's always interesting and fun playing teams from outside of England. So yeah, Pau, any French team you play away to, you can expect it to be hostile. You can expect it to be loud and confrontational. Big packs, very physical. So for us, it's just about sticking to what we've been doing over the last few weeks. Taking nothing for granted. You know, we've had a few good results, but that doesn't mean things are just going to happen. So we've got to make sure that we go with the right mindset. We front up, and we just stick to our plan.
Different referees, different environment. Is that something the players need to take into account?
To an extent, I think some players maybe need to think about it a little bit more than others. You know, we've got really good leaders in the group, so they can kind of take care of that, and everyone else can just think about doing their own job, to be honest with you. As long as we play our game, you know, our discipline has been good over the last 5, 6, 7 games, so we just need to stick to that and make sure we're putting ourselves in the right positions. We don't want to give these big French packs easy line-outs 5 metres out. We want to make sure that they're working.
Yeah, some teams maybe think of these cup games as a bit of a distraction from the league, but I guess we've shown with the Premiership Cup that it can have a positive impact on performances. Is that the sort of mentality the players have got as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not something we can control, so for us it's just facing whatever game we've got next. So, you know, we've got 2 weeks of it, so it's now how can we put our best foot forward at the start of the competition. So, you know, this is a really big opportunity for us to go away from home to a French side and start the competition with a win, and then we can return to play Dragons at home and hopefully continue that momentum. And it's an opportunity to build momentum. You saw the momentum that we managed to build in Prem Cup. The first 2 games led into the Sale game at the end of the Prem Cup, and then that's led into the Saracens game. So for us, it's just about keeping that momentum going. Doesn't really matter how we do that and in what competition.
It's 5 from 6 in all tournaments now. I mean, what's the difference been? I know Steve Diamond was sort of keen to stress that he's not a reactionary coach. The things you do after a defeat are broadly the same as you do after a win. But as a player who's on the field and in the training sessions, is there anything you can put your finger on?
To be honest, like I think it's been coming. It's been building for a while. We knew as a group that the performances were in us. It was just about making sure we were on the right side of results. And pulling kind of that 70, 80-minute performance together. We'd been showing it in glimpses for 40, 50, and maybe even 60, but in the Prem that's not enough to get you over the line. So for us it's just about being consistent through the 80 minutes, which I think the Saracens game, you saw a game of 2 very different halves. You know, we had a lot more attack in the first half and a lot more to defend in the second half. So it doesn't change. It's just about how we adapt in those situations, and I think that's something that we've been doing really well, and we just have to continue getting better at. You know, we don't want it to be the biggest deal in the world when we get a win. We just want it to be that's us turning up and doing our job. So for us, that's what it's all about. Just trying to be really consistent, the highs and the lows.
Just as you don't go too overboard after a few defeats, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a case of not getting carried away after a win. Like, how do you as players go about that? Are you speaking internally about those sort of things?
I think it's maybe not something that you specifically speak about, but when we review a game like Saracens, there were opportunities that we didn't execute in that game. There was a couple of pens that we gave away that we didn't need to, and you know that game could have potentially been put away earlier. It didn't necessarily need to go down to the final play of the game. You know, when we reflect on that game and when we look at it, it's just about holding guys accountable, myself, other guys, putting your hands up and making sure that you're honest when you reflect. You can't just review a game that you win and only look at the positives. There's also got to be learnings that you take from it as well.
So after the game, Dimes has become a bit of a social media sensation for not knowing the words to the Bladen races. Was it an expensive Friday night for him? I imagine his bank balance took a bit of a hit after the game.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him about that. But yeah, I think he's definitely been looking the words up on his laptop in the office. I'm sure you'll be able to give him a hint or few on what the words are.
Top man. Thanks for your time, Cammy, and good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.